Hi, Bonnie. Hi. Thanks for coming in today. I just wanted to take a little bit and discuss a little bit of nutrition counseling with you. Okay. Um, After reviewing your medical history, it looks like you don't really have any medical issues that are going to really play a significant role in your oral health. So that's great news. And we all know that well-balanced diet is really important for keeping us healthy. Um, And so I wanted to ask you how you felt about your food journal on my plate. Did you like it or?
Yeah, I think it was kind of eye-opening. I can definitely increase fruits and vegetables for sure. That was the first thing I noticed. And then I think cut down on carbohydrates. And I feel like I have a really high sodium intake too.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good that you were able to identify that. And I like that you picked out where you were lacking and kind of areas that you need to maybe increase a little bit more and in order to get those important nutrients. So I took a look at your journal and I was just going to kind of go through and circle some of the areas that we might find hidden sugars because hidden sugars can really have a significant impact on your oral cavity. Um, so the only thing that really stood out for me, there's just a few things. Maybe like the creamer in your coffee that can have some hidden sugar in it. Um, Maybe some of the carbs like the English muffin or the breads or the pasta, the rice, that type of thing. But you're gonna see it in we all know that there's sugars in the carbohydrates, but also one thing to keep track of is any kind of condiments that you're using, like ketchup. I know you have teriyaki sauce on here. Those can also have a lot of hidden sugars in them too. So it was good to actually take a look at this, and so I could point those out to you, and maybe if you think that you can make some changes or maybe decrease it a little bit, that might help you in the long run.
Okay.
Um, do you think that you'd be able to maybe make some adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, even I think the sodium is packed in that teriyaki sauce too.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, definitely, I can definitely cut down on some of the carbohydrates and maybe replace them with um, more vegetables.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's always a good thing, and it's a challenging for all of us. And by no means am I asking you to cut out, the teriyaki sauce, but maybe a little less, or maybe not as frequently. So you did a really good job with keeping track of all your meals. Um, and so, what do you know about cavities and how we get them?
I just associate it with candy,
Okay.
honestly,
Okay.
like that direct correlation with to sugar.
Sure, and you are on the right track there. There's actually four factors that can play a role in forming a cavity. First of all, you're going to need a specific type of bacteria, and that most people have in their mouth already. And then, like you said, the sugars or the carcinogenic foods like the candy, the pop, the fermentable carbs, like crackers, bread, things, anything that sticks to your teeth, like a raisin or a fruit snack or anything like sticky. Um, Also, salivary flow is going to play a significant role in cavities, and so like a lack of saliva would, which I don't see any trouble with that with you. So I think you're okay there. And then the fourth component is actually like having a susceptible tooth area. So those four things are going to play a role in whether somebody gets a cavity or not. Um, and I had your caries risk at high, and the reason I put you at high was solely because of the snacking on the complex or the fermentable carbs, and then some of the sugars, like with the coffee. So, and we discussed already the changes that you could make with that. So,
Sure.
And this is why it's important why we take a closer look at food journals so that we can identify some of those foods that come into play. And you told me that you have 1 can of pop a day
Mm-hmm.
and then some coffee with cream or sugar. So, and then you also like to snack a little bit in between meals on
Mm-hmm.
chips, crackers. And so frequency and quantity um, are both involved in snacking, obviously, but the main thing is how frequently you're consuming snacks or the cardiogenic foods. Um, and what really matters with eating either acidic, like the soda, or the sugary foods, is how often you consume them throughout the day. So not necessarily the quantity, but for example, like 1 can of pop or 1 cup of coffee with creamer that's consumed over or during a meal is fine. But if you're having that can of pop or that coffee sitting at your desk all day and you're sipping on it throughout the day, that's going to cause you to have an extended drop in your pH. And that's going to make you more prone to cavities and throughout the day.
Okay.
There's a little graph here that I wanted to show you, and it just kind of illustrates how your pH during mealtime drops.
Okay.
And that is going to create an acidic environment in your mouth.
Sure.
Making you prone to more cavities. So if you're just having those specific meals, your body is able to rebuffer itself or control the pH, and it returns to normal, which is a good thing. And then you can see also on the bottom here is where people are doing frequent snacking, and they never really have a chance to keep at a solid pH of, around 6.5 to 7 for your body to remineralize or kind of reclaim itself from that acidic environment.
Okay.
And you mentioned when you were in 6 months ago that you were going to try to cut down on coffee and pop and take, and I noticed you had a little bit of erosion or like wearing away of your enamel, and that's caused from that acidic drink. Have you done anything differently?
I try to drink it with meals.
Oh, okay. And that's great. That's a really good way of doing it, is to, like I said, to keep that short time and not stretch it out through the day. And if you do that, then you'll see your pH will look more like the top graph instead of the bottom.
Yeah, that was really great advice. I just try to have like the coffee with breakfast and then my 1 can of pop with lunch.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that works well. So your diet has a direct relationship to your mouth. Because you don't take in a lot of sugar, that's going to also lower your cavity risk. And then one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was your periodontal status. And I have you at a perio class 1, and that is basically good, healthy gum tissue. You only had like 2s and 3s for your probe depth, and that's measuring your bone height, and that's your supporting structure around your tooth. If you were to progress into early periodontitis, and that would be more significant measurements with the probe, so anything above a 4, it would mean that we're seeing bone loss. And basically what's going on is bacteria is building up there, and that's causing inflammation along the tooth and around those supporting structures. And it causes your gingival tissue to recede, and then the bone also recedes. So you're losing that supporting structure, and that can be really detrimental. But at this point, you're doing really well, and I think your periodontal status is great at a class 1. Do you have any questions on the periodontal disease at all? Or?
No, so you just reprobe and find out how I'm doing, like on my next appointment, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll do measurements at every appointment, and we'll track your bone height, and I really don't have many concerns for you at all.
Okay.
So one other thing that I want to discuss with you are some minerals that play a role in your diet. Calcium, obviously, we all know is super important. It's good to take a vitamin D supplement with that calcium also. It helps with absorption. One thing is eating cheese, and that would also give you calcium, but it also buffers your pH. So back to that pH that we were talking about, that's going to play a role.
Okay.
One other thing is fluoride that we do in the office, or making sure that you have fluoride in your drinking water at home. Using fluoride toothpaste, fluoride rinse. Do you use those already?
I do in my toothpaste. I use a whitening mouthwash, but I don't think it has fluoride in it.
Okay.
So I could probably change that too.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, fluoride is great, so it's going to give you a chance to remineralize that tooth structure. You can't get an enamel back once it's gone, So it's really good that we take care of that and keep it strong. So fluoride is going to be great, and we'll continue to do that at all your appointments.
Okay.
And then I also want to mention with you wanting to increase your vegetables, there's some foods your fruits and vegetables, there's some foods that are really fantastic to help you cleanse your teeth, and they're really good for your periodontal health. By taking in foods like celery, carrots, cucumbers, cauliflower, other more firm, fibrous fruits and vegetables, they're going to actually improve your periodontal health by stimulating your gum tissue and increasing your salivary flow. And we all know that saliva plays a big role in the pH. So that's going to be something that you'll probably see a lot of improvement with your periodontal health in the future if you do decide to take in some more fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
So do you have any questions, or is there anything that I can answer for you?
No, I think this was really informational.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Well, if you need anything, go ahead and contact me in the clinic. Okay. All right.